19 cricket team who's here backing their side today. Played just yesterday, I think, against Papua New Guinea at the ground, which is probably less than 100 metres from this hockey ground, so good to see them here today. The team's just casually coming back out onto the turf for the second half. And a little bit darker here. We're hoping that that rain stays away. India are all ready to go, already in their huddle out on the turf, still waiting for Japan. Just getting their hustle on, coming out of the locker rooms, perhaps just an extended little chat from their coach. Really hoping to change their fortunes in the second half. After that first half double from Vivek Prasad. And then Rupinder adding the third from a penalty stroke. Initial penalty corner from India, just stuck on the final man's body and impeding the goal. Hence the stroke. So Japan just running back onto the field now as we're just getting a few little spits of rain here at Mount Maunganui. They do say New Zealand is a little bit like 4 seasons in one day, and we've seen that a little bit so far. The first half cloudy, windy, sunny. Second half, the rain looks like it's on its way. Joined in commentary by Stuart Pidu. Stuart, second half coming up. Do you expect much different from these sides? Obviously, India will be wanting to put even more goals on the board in their first match here in New Zealand.
Yeah, I expect India to come out and to pretty much repeat the exact same game plan they had for the first half, as it was fairly well effective, but I expect to see something different from Japan. They really need to dig deep into the bag of tricks and find something different, because their performance in the first half was lackluster.
Yeah, they wouldn't have been overly impressed with that, and it was always an uphill battle against a side like India, but they would have wanted to put in a stronger sort of showing in their first half. But second half, as we say, it's a game of two halves, and they'll be wanting to change that around right now. But they do need to score soon to stay in this game.
And it's a much higher energy start from them already straight away. They've gone into a bit more of an aggressive press, trying to force some errors from the Indian defence.
It's lacking a little in the final touches though. It's good skills there from Harmanpreet, able to clear. Sends the ball wide across. Would have noticed a little darker on screen at the moment as a few little spits start to come down, and hope the crowd have brought their raincoats or umbrellas, although umbrellas won't be doing too much in this wind. Teams on the field won't be too worried about the spits of rain though. They're fully focused on doing what they're here to do, and yeah, just losing the ball there and a little chance for Japan to run away. Do feel like they need to come up with something special to break down this Indian defence though. It's been very strong so far. Spoke about a young Japanese side, but also a fairly young Indian side, and as we said, 4 players on debut, and their most cap player, Mandeep Singh, 205 caps, which I guess in this day and age in international hockey has almost become not too many. You look at the likes of the Belgium side with John Doman on close to 350 caps and only 29 years old, so they do rack them up very quickly these days, Stuart, and it's a lot of hockey for those guys.
200 caps is still a bloody good milestone. It's about 200 more than you and I have. So he's definitely doing well, but they do churn through the games these days.
You're not wrong, and 1 cap would be more than I'll ever get as well. So I must point out it is a fantastic achievement, as all of these guys here put together for their countries. Certainly the Kiwi summer looks to have left us for the day. The rain coming in at us sideways as well.
That's how you get rain in these parts, sideways.
Yeah, forget the umbrellas. I'm not going to do too much. Good for the local surfing scene though, I'm sure. Mount Maunganui, known for its lovely beaches. And left hand or right hand, Stuart?
I struggle with my left and right to the best of times.
Fair call, me too. And you're just looking to work away and find their way into the circle. They have done there. Just a little half chance there. I think that was Dilpreet Singh, I think, with the reverse shot. So we just look at it again on the replay. A really nice little trap. And I think that was saved. Very good save. India are able to keep out of danger there, but India's definitely still on the hunt for more goals. So here is the rain. As you can see, I'm sure on the camera screens, pretty heavy here at the moment. So a very different second half weather-wise for us. India still charging away. Turf just starting to get a little bit wet in this rain here, and the ball, I guess, will just lose a little bit of the flow, but see a card there, a little bit of ill discipline. It's number 23, Gurinder Singh.
Green card is the hockey equivalent of a slap on the wrist there, so he'll spend 2 minutes thinking about what he's done.
Yeah, 2 minutes, not a long time in a game of hockey, and Japan will need to use that very, very quickly if they're to get anything out of it.
The rain seems to have sparked Japan a bit here, though. They're playing much more aggressively, trying to put some pressure on. And they...
Yeah, sometimes that can change the game a little bit, and I suppose it will slow it slightly, especially where there's a little bit of water pulled up, but not sure if that'll help or hinder Japan's attempts to try and find a goal. (4-0) already from an Indian perspective, Stuart. Does that become a challenge to kind of stay focused and not switch off when you know you're ahead by such a comfortable sort of margin?
It can be quite difficult. These guys are international players, though, pretty professional, and they'll definitely stick to the task. They've still got a game plan to go out there and execute, and they won't let off until that final whistle.
Yeah, and they certainly want to put as many goals as they can in and help the goal differential as we move on through the series. Obviously, the medal games here on Sunday. 2 more matches to go before that stage. So Dilpreet Singh, the goal scorer in this third quarter, and India up 4-0. So just already almost midway through the third quarter. As Stuart said, the rain has stopped, thankfully, and the crowd just trying to dry out a little bit. We've got a changing goalkeeper here for India. That's the number 13, Krishan Pathak, coming on to give Srijesh a break. A clean sheet in his first game back in goal after injury, so he'll be happy with that, I'm sure, and I can see him grinning ear to ear from here. So Indian fans back home will be very happy to see him back, I'm sure. India again on the attack and just continue to look dangerous, don't they? Japan just probably haven't had too many chances with the ball, but here we go, a little breakaway there. There's a good run by Yoshihara, the sideline, but just can't put the final touches on. Japan throughout the game showing good pace, but they're really just struggling to find it past that final man for India, or second or third. Very good organised defence so far from India.
The Indians just look so calm as well, with and without the ball. They don't seem to be panicking at all, being very patient in defence, waiting for the Japanese to make a mistake, and they just clean up.
Ooh. We've got a penalty corner for Japan, as we say, the old commentator's jinx. A nice run from Japan, and I think that was Wakuri. Made his way into the circle and just, I think he got a little trip from his stick, so penalty corner awarded.
Yeah, good one, mate. I was just congratulating you on how patient your defence has been, then you go and do that. You're making me look bad here, brother. Come on.
So Japan with, fair to say, their best chance of the game so far. Third quarter penalty corner, and let's see what they can come up with here. I'm picking a little variation. That's what I'm going with. Wrong again.
That evens us up in the penalty corner call.
Yeah, Japan just go for the straight flick there, but well defended, I think, from the first runner. And, able to clear away, but
that one will hurt tomorrow.
Yeah, those ones are never nice. It's, one hockey players are very used to.
Looks like it's hurting today as well.
Yeah, classic hockey player injury, Stuart. I'm sure you've had a few of those in your time. The old ankles or the knees or the nose, perhaps. Always the typical ones that draw the attention of sticks and balls.
It's not always the safest game, but for the most part it's reasonably tame in terms of the injuries.
The ball's not overly forgiving, is it? And I'm not sure if you are one who lines up for penalty corners, but certainly not the most fun job to have in a team, is it?
No, you've definitely got to be one of the tough guys to line up in the defensive corner, particularly on the post. With the international drag flickers these days, they get that ball moving pretty quickly, and I would be much more comfortable at halfway if I had the choice.
Safe bet, safe bet. India away again. It's Ramandeep, I think, away up the field, and he's looking to find his way in. He's got a penalty corner there. I think he was he's called a block there. So
he was on a break on his own, looking for some support. He was surrounded here by Japanese defenders, and one of them just made too much contact, bringing him down.
Yeah, I think that was a fair enough call. He was stumbling a little bit, but it was definitely impeded. So India with another chance to put themselves even further ahead now. What can they come up with? So Ramandeep to inject. Oh. Classic flick there. It was Harmanpreet Singh, I think, was it? Just put the ball straight in, past the goalkeeper, past the defenders, easy as that. India are up 5-0. See, look at that replay. That was Harmanpreet, so straight at the goalkeeper's left foot and pad, and just deflected into the back of the goal. And India, no need to even celebrate. They're up 5-0 now, and very, very happy with themselves, I'm sure.
Yeah, goalkeeper won't be too happy with that one. It was more or less straight at him. He got a piece of it, but not enough to deflect it away from the goal.
India, I guess, now just able to clear away and, I guess, get what they can out of the match in certain situations, but they've given away another penalty corner here. Can Japan come up with anything different? Do you get the feeling that against, defence like India, they'll need to put one of those little special plays in practice? When they pay off, they look great. When they don't, they are forgettable, to be fair. So let's see, will they go again for a straight flick, or will they go with something else? Yeah, we've gone for it. There was a man going towards the far post, but wasn't quite wide enough or close to the goal, and just went straight over the baseline.
Yeah, pretty good save. The keeper's gone down low to his left to make that. Very good save. And India now on a bit of a break down the right-hand side.
And so the Indian keeper in action. It's Pathak, who's come in from the second half to sub for Srijesh, and already doing good things. Been a good sort of team performance, hasn't it, from India? They've had a double from Vivek Prasad, but really has been good across the park, and everyone doing their thing. And Japan again just looking to find their way upfield. Certainly putting on a little bit more in attack this quarter, but not able to find the back of the net as yet.
Yeah, I would say India would like to write down the script of this match and rinse and reuse as often as possible. They've played pretty well, not been challenged a lot, and they've been able to dictate a lot of the attacking play in particular this match.
Can you see them coming up against a vastly different style when they meet the likes of Belgium or New Zealand? Or, like you say, do you think they just keep on doing what they're doing and what's working?
Yeah, I definitely think they'll try to keep doing what they've done today. It's obviously worked very well. There's two very different teams from Japan and Belgium and New Zealand that will each present their own different challenges to come up against. But for them, I think they'd want to keep doing the same as they enter the circle here. Get a shot away, but it flashes just wide.
Yeah, Belgium in particular, I guess, a side who certainly won't give anyone too many chances. You don't get to number 3rd in the world for no reason, and they've shown why over the last couple of years. We're in for some exciting hockey throughout the week here in Taonga. And as we say that, that's Mandeep with the steal, and he's away, finds a great ball in there, and it's a goal. Dilpreet Singh with another. It's a fantastic finish. I think that's going to look pretty pretty on a replay.
Really good turnover from the striker line there. Pretty soft giveaway, to be fair, but they've taken the ball off the defender and worked it easily into the circle and into the back of the net.
Yeah, fantastic finish. And India now 6-0 up over Japan. Still in the 3rd quarter, it's getting a little ugly, Stuart.
Yeah, they won't be happy with the scoreline, obviously, but I definitely think in the second half, Japan has definitely looked to play more hockey. I was pretty disappointed, to be honest, with them from the first half effort. But in the second half, they've come forward. They have managed to get some attacking play going. And they haven't just let the Indians play the game themselves. They have tried to put something on them.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And sometimes the old scoreboard in hockey isn't a true reflection of the entire game. And I actually agree with you. I think Japan have actually pushed really well in little patches. But as we heard it there, that's 3-quarter time, and it is India 6-0. So certainly the scoreboard not agreeing with what we're saying, Stuart.
The scoreboard has a habit of disagreeing with me. I'm not sure why.
It's a law unto itself, that hockey scoreboard. As we see the teams again just huddle up for final time in this match, the final break, and probably don't even need to say too much in the Indian huddle, just keep going. I suppose an opportunity really for Japan to just play the game, take some learnings, and from this 4th quarter potentially put some scenarios in place that will sort of help them develop throughout the 2 series, and I guess gain a little confidence and something that they can take away from this match. I can't see them scoring 7 goals in the 4th quarter, but certainly pride is on the line.
Yeah, there's always something to take away from a game of hockey, whether it's a win, a loss, or a draw. You can always take something away and improve. If I was in the Indian huddle, I'd be saying, get the ball to Vivek, mate. He's on debut on a double. Get that man a hat-trick.
Dilpreet is also on a double though, mate. So
it's a fight. It might be double seagull for the last quarter. What do you reckon?
Could call it now. So we just see the teams coming in for their warm-ups for the next match of the day, 7:30 p.m. pushback. The Vantage Black Sticks up against Belgium. It's a pretty exciting battle, not just for the teams on the field, but I guess a battle for the coaches, really. Darren Smith, the current head coach of the Vantage Black Sticks men, up against a man he was assistant to 4 or 5 years ago, Shane McLeod, currently now coaching Belgium and doing a great job there. So the old master versus apprentice type scenario is in play, and obviously both teams will be wanting to put in a great performance there. So that will be live streamed here, and we won't have to put up with me in commentary for that game. We'll have Stuart again up with Bevan Hurry for that one, so the banter will be much better.
I think you're doing all right there, John. I'm going to miss you, I know that.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that. So we just see India now looking to hold the ball along the back. Japan really trying to put some pressure on. They are a quick side, but India not slow themselves. Again, some encouraging signs there for Japan, but can't find the final touch. They will still have the ball, so I'm sure they all know what they need to do and will at least want to put one on the board before the end of this one. India will be trying to keep them out at all cost. Good little crowd starting to build here as we see about 35 minutes out from the start of the New Zealand game, and again not the nicest of conditions with the wind and the rain, but very, very passionate, aren't they, hockey fans? They'll come and watch rain or shine. In India, just really controlling that midfield and running Japan around, really. They'll be tired after this one, I'm sure.
Yeah, I mentioned it earlier, but the Indian players from the front to the back are just so composed on the ball. They never look under any duress or any real pressure. They're happy to have defenders in their face and just turn on the ball, find an easy pass, and then keep going. Yeah, the captain, Chinglan Sana, just has done a good job throughout the game of just marshalling his troops and making sure everyone's well organised. Yeah. It's always the sign of a good captain, isn't it? One who does a hell of a lot of work sort of off the ball and perhaps doesn't always get the glory on TV, but watching the game you can see him in action and it's great to see. Well, that's twice in a row now. Japan has just flashed the ball across the circle, unable to quite find their target, and that's been the story for a lot of their attacks. They've looked decent when they've got down the attacking end, but they have not been able to get onto the end of much of the ball into the circle. Yeah, as you've said earlier, you can't fault the effort though. They're not giving up, that's for sure. They're still putting in 110%, running around and putting their body on the line. They don't want to finish this match without a goal. Great overhead there from Harmanpreet, and India already in the circle. Yeah, great overlapping run by the right half on that play, and as you said, really good delivery, utilising the overhead pass. It certainly makes a huge difference to a side, doesn't it, if you've got a player or a couple of players in your team who can execute that long overhead ball. You see a lot of teams on the international scene use that to good effect and really can trouble defenders. Yeah, it's a bit of a must-have these days. If you want to be an international defender, you've got to have a decent high ball on you. And as it's been used more and more often, players have just gotten more and more accurate with it. Whereas in the past, it used to be a bit of a kick for touch type scenario, maybe relieve a bit of pressure. But these days, it's definitely an accurately executed pass. As we look at the action, you see number 30 there, Vivek, back on the turf. Get that man the ball. Oh, I've just cursed him because he's subbing off. So I apologise to everyone watching in India and Vivek. I'm disappointed. He has had a stunning game, hasn't he? He's played pretty well. 8 minutes 30 to go here in this match, and India not letting up. Vivek would have binned it.
That's Ramandeep. He's a pretty decent player himself, but he just couldn't find the final touch to bury that into the goal. Score remains 6-0 to India.
Well, they've got just under 8 minutes to make something of this match, Japan. And moving forward now. But once again snuffed out by the Indian defence.
Yeah, looks like we're ready to see 3 players subbed on for India. So we look down at the sideline. So we're looking to close out the final few minutes with pace, I'm sure, and we'll want to get another one on the board. Japan just not able to find a way through the final stick there, and Harmanpreet again with a huge clearance, and that was a touch finder, that one. And yeah, got the ball back again. Good counter here from Japan. They need to move quickly though. India really closing down play quickly. It's better from Japan. Great skills and just moving towards the man in the circle, but it gets the big boot out from the goalkeeper. It's well cleared from India. So we've seen that a lot, haven't we? The Japanese team able to move it into the side of the field, but just closed out the final touch.
Yeah, they're definitely not short on the circle penetration stat. They've got the ball in there a few times. They just haven't been able to get good quality shots off the end of it.
So 5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, and do stay with us after the match. We'll do our best to get some player interviews, and potentially a cricket legend or two I hear is in the house. The Indian under-19 cricket team has come across to watch their fellow national side, which is fantastic to see. And Indian hockey and cricket fans back home know who the manager of that side is, and we're trying our best to hunt him down for a quick interview after this match. India not allowing Japan a lot of time with the ball, and certainly not letting up. They want to close out in style.
Yeah, still wanted to run a high press there with a few minutes to go and a big lead. Japan have managed to get their way out of it. They're down here again. Can they get something in the circle?
Yeah, always tactical aspects of the game to work on if you're up by a lead by this. India currently up 6-0, but will certainly have, things in place that they want to work on, like defending their lead and things like that, as you just see a little bit of heavy body contact there. Harmanpreet just clears the ball across the field. And haven't seen too much physicality in this game, Stuart, but certainly a lot of speed.
Yeah, it's run pretty smoothly in general as Japan enter on the right-hand baseline. Snuffed out by the keeper. But yeah, the game has been reasonably free-flowing. Not a lot of contact, and we haven't had to mention the umpires once yet, which is great. If they don't get a mention, that means they're doing very, very well.
You wouldn't expect any less from Tim Bond, though, would you?
No, he's pretty top quality when it comes to blowing the whistle.
I'm joined by Zeke Newman, I should mention. I won't hear the end of it if I don't. So Zeke Newman, the other umpire in today's match from Australia. Great work they do, umpires. 2.5 minutes to go here in India. On the run again. They would have just shift it back and control it from the back. Or not, as the case may be, and Japan do have the ball from the sideline. Can they come up with anything special? Really, the last sort of roll of the dice here.
That looks much better go forward through the midfield, but again, no one on the end of it.
So we see the technical officials down on the sideline just start looking at the stopwatches and the clocks as we tick away. Very, very close to full time here in the opening match at the University of Waikato Four Nations. It's been despite the imbalance on the scoreline, it's been an entertaining match.
Yeah, India definitely the better of the two sides today, but Japan have done their part in this match, particularly in the second half. They've come out and tried to play a lot more hockey. I've got to give them credit for that.
Yeah, I don't think they should be too disheartened by this result. I mean, they've put some good things in place. Haven't been able to score any goals, but certainly they're a team developing, and as we spoke about, a young side. So it's experiences like this which should see them develop a lot over the next couple of years. Ball for Japan, and only 30 seconds on the clock, so they need to move quickly if they're to do anything here. Again, an Indian stick right in there. Some countdown here. So full time here at Blake Park in Mount Maunganui, and it is India taking away the 6-0 win over Japan. A pretty sublime effort from the Indian side, and what a way to start their series. Just quickly on that one, Stuart spoke throughout the game, but India should be reasonably happy with that result and the way that they've started the tournament. Japan can hold their heads high. They've come up against a great team and have done some good things, but plenty to work on for them also.
Yeah, India will obviously be pretty happy with that. Good hit out for them. Obviously everything went according to plan. And Japan have got a lot to work on. I do think they improved over the game, particularly from the first half to the second. They came out with a bit of a different game plan, a little bit more intent to actually go forward with the ball. So they did well. Obviously the scoreline is not great, but there's always stuff to work on.
As we see the teams shaking hands and congratulating each other, always good to see good sportsmanship in the game, and hockey is one that always lends to that. As we just stand by, we'll try and get some player interviews for you very shortly and try and speak to the Indian captain, Chinglan Sana, I think.
Hey man, Justin.
Here we go, we throw down for an interview with the Indian captain, I think in a few seconds time.
Hello, hello. Oh, Chingasana. Okay, what a fantastic match for India. 6-0 over Japan.